Welcome back to CBuzz Sports Cards. Today we're going to rip and review a box of 2026 Topps Chrome Baseball. Let's get into it. All right, we got another free giveaway for this video, guys. It's going to be a blaster box of 2026 Topps Chrome. So this one right here. To win, all you have to do is leave a comment within 7 days of the video being posted. After that, we'll randomly choose a commenter. We'll get in touch and mail you this box of cards for free. So leave a comment and keep watching. Thanks, guys. All right, guys, welcome to CBuzz Sports Cards. We're going to rip into this box of Topps 2026 Baseball. It's a jumbo box. But before we do, we're going to get into a few different things. Let's get set up here. So let's go over the checklist a little bit, some of the hits, some of the big chases. We'll talk about pack odds. I've got some important info too if you like to break this stuff. So if you do team breaks, player breaks, I'm going to pull up some sheets I made. Hopefully I'll be able to make a link where you can download these, but it'll give you which teams have the deepest checklists, which players have the best odds. So I'll go into that. So let's just hop right to it and let's get going. So this is my first video here with kind of a full setup. So I've got screen sharing and then a card cam and then the webcam. So kind of a big change here for me. So I'm just getting used to the new setup. So bear with me. But anyway, enough with the disclaimers. So let's get into this. So we've got the Topps 2026 Chrome Baseball here on the website, showing us pictures of the different cards. Obviously, you got your standard refractor. We've got all the parallels. We've got Wrecking Crew. So that's a pretty common insert. I've not opened any 2026 Topps Chrome Baseball yet. This will be the first of it I've opened. I've not even opened a blaster box. So I'm excited. I've seen a couple of videos of people unwrapping some stuff and ripping it. So it should be pretty good. But lots of stuff. I mean, lots of different cards, lots of inserts, lots of hits, big chases. I mean, the ceiling is super high. The floor is low. But that's Topps Chrome. But yeah, so moving on into some of the inserts. We've got the past to present. We have the World Series champion, autograph cards, and then they've done future stars. They've had future stars in the set for quite a while. I think if you've opened Topps Baseball, you're familiar with the future stars cards. But now this year they've redesigned the card. They look a little nicer, a little more going on. And they've made them a little harder to hit. So they're not super rare, but they're not as common as they once were. So I like that. I think the new design looks pretty good. Obviously, like some of the biggest chases, you've got the dual gold logo man relics. The Ohtani one would be huge. I mean, if whoever pulls it or gets it, that'll probably be one of the biggest cards of all time. I mean, I love Ohtani. I'd love to pull something like that. But yeah. And then you've got the Ohtani Judge, dual gold logo man. The cool thing too is they had those guys wear those patches. So there's only a few guys. It's the award winners from last year. So you've got the MVPs, Rookie of the Year, Cy Young winner. I believe that's it. So anyway, getting into some other hits. They've got the Minions cards. I don't know. I'm not a fan. I don't hate them, but not my thing. You know, if I pulled one, I'd probably sell it right away. You know, they're going for some money on the secondary market. But, you know, obviously the superfractors are a big chase. These are kind of cool, the Cooperstown Call. So this is a 5-year rainbow. Started last year, and it'll go 2025 until 2030. And so last year they did the 2025 inductees, and they did them in, I don't know what color they did last year. I know this year is blue. So this year all the Cooperstown Call parallels will be blue. So I believe they have blue for the 2026 inductees, and I think they released the blue parallels for last year's inductees as well. But it's just one color per year. So 5-year rainbow. Kind of neat. I think those are pretty tough to hit. And then you've got World Series at night. Those are a cool insert. We'll go through the checklist quick. And so I'm just going to talk about the set here for 5-10 minutes. If you guys don't want to watch this, if you already know, just skip forward and go to the rip. But I like to look at the checklist. We'll scroll up to the top here. So, I mean, it's huge. So you've got a 63-page checklist. I like to know what's inside. How big is the base set? So this base set is 300 players. And they're going to get into some of the inserts. Ultraviolet, those are big hits. They've got the lightboard logo variations. Looks like they have one of those for every player on the base set, so 300. And then you get into other things like the Chrome MVP buybacks, Numbers Live Forever. I'm not sure what that one is, but then the class of 2026, Cooperstown Call, and then they're doing 2025. Those, again, will all be in blue for this year. Each year they go to a lower parallel with less cards. So, and I think the final year they end with the gold 101s. So those will be obviously pretty tough to hit. But they've got the award winners, base variation, the radiating rookies. Those are tough to hit too. I think we're going to look at the odds before we open. So I'll pull up the odds sheet, but I think those are like 1 in 400 or 500 packs maybe. Future stars. There's super short prints, so SSPs of a few players. They've got the perspectives. Those are a neat insert. I like those. They're not super uncommon. They're not super duper common, but not that hard to pull either. I'm guessing 1 or 2 per box, something like that. World Series at night. It's more like a case hit. Topps Chrome Champion refractors. Shadow Etch. It's another. I think it's close to case hit. I think. Helix, that's around a case hit, and static noise. So this is an interesting one. I like this. We'll pull up a picture of it in a minute. This is retail only, so we won't find one of these in the hobby box I'm going to open because I'm going to do a jumbo hobby. But these are in Mega and I think maybe Blasters too, but retail only for the static noise. I like those inserts. I'll pull up a picture. If you guys don't know about them, you'll get to check them out. Hobby Masters, those are definitely more rare. Fanatical, a little rare, but kind of not super rare. Past to present. Okay, Wild Style. Now we're getting into some more of the common stuff, at least a little more common. So Wild Style's not super uncommon. Past to present, I'm expecting we'll find a few of those in this box, is my guess. And Topps Chrome Expose, and then you've got image variations. I'm sure we'll find a number of those in this box as well. Big ticket players, those are pretty common. Wrecking Crew, also pretty common. 1991 Topps Baseball, super common. I gotta say, I like those. I've seen some pictures too with the 91 Topps Baseball and the all chrome. I think it looks pretty sharp. I'm a sucker for that design. I grew up opening 91 Topps Baseball when, I was, 5, 6 years old. So some of my first baseball card memories. So I do like them, and I'm excited to see these in chrome in person for the first time. So obviously got to see the silver pack versions, but then you've got Diamond Moments, and then you get Chrome Rivals Home, Chrome Rivals Away. And this is another interesting chase here. So you've got Fanatics Authentics Redemption cards. So these are for authentic memorabilia from Fanatics, with stuff like signed balls, signed hats, bats, photographs. I don't know all the different things they're offering. I haven't found a ton of information on it. But it's cool. So they're not cards, but you're going to get other memorabilia. I think that's a nice touch to throw in, something with the partnership between Topps and Fanatics. So I'm for that. I think that's kind of neat. And then you've got the Minions 4-player checklist. So it's Soto, Judge, Skeens, Roman Anthony. I don't know, interesting, kind of strange, but and then the rookie autographs, and then retail rookie autographs is a different list. So if you look on the retail list of the rookie autographs, not many names I'm aware of. Now, I don't, I watch baseball. I'm a Twins fan. I'm up here in Minnesota. I watch a couple games a week, and I'll watch, if the Yankees are on or Dodgers or whoever, Sunday night baseball, stuff like that. I like to watch. But I'm not a guy where, I know all about the prospects and who's in the minor leagues that is coming up. I don't watch at that level. I don't care. So, I don't know. You guys might know names on this list. I don't. But, yeah, it's too bad that the retail list is abbreviated like that. But I think they're a little more common to hit. So, I guess, take the good with the bad. And then you get into Chrome autographs, Chrome Legend autographs, World Series champions autographs. Those are more veterans. The 91 Topps baseball autos. You've got Future Stars autos, Perspective autos, Ink Strokes, 75th Diamond autos, chromographs, World Champions autograph refractor from 2025, Topps Chrome Radiating Rookies autographs, dual autographs. I mean, the list goes on. I'm not going to go through the whole checklist. We're on 31 out of 63, so we've gone about halfway through. So you guys get the point. But I think it's nice to look at the checklist and understand what's in the set, all the different possibilities, figure out what some of the bigger chases are. So I'm going to pull up a few different cards before we hop into it. And I should mention real quick too, we do have a giveaway for this video. We're going to give away a blaster box of 2026 Chrome Baseball. So to enter, all you have to do is leave a comment. And then within 7 days of this video being posted, we'll randomly choose a commenter. I'll shoot you a YouTube notification and then get your contact info, and then I'll mail you this box of cards here for free. So just leave a comment, and we appreciate you guys watching, and hopefully I can give this box away to somebody here in the next week and a half. So jumping back into it here, we've got the ultraviolet. So I think this is one of the better inserts in this set. A lot of different players. A Judge is going for like $1,600. The Otanis are nuts right now. They're selling for like 8, 9, 10,000, depending on how good the copy is, how well centered it is. There's one listed for 11. I don't know if it'll go for that much or not, but they have been selling at 8, 9, 10, depending. I think they look great. I'd love to pull an ultraviolet. I like them in basketball. I think the football design, I want to say the football design was a little bit different, where it looks the same, but it doesn't have the same sparkle or finish. I think they're like a little more flat. I don't know. I could be wrong, but these look good. Then you got the helix. Helix is nice. I don't know. I'm not like a huge fan of it. It's fine, but it's when you think about big inserts, I think of Kabooms, I think of Downtowns. I think those are great. I think Topps is doing well to compete on that level with the ultraviolet. I think the headliners are cool in Topps Finest. And, Topps has a lot of other great cards. I mean, they do great on the parallels and a lot of the autos being on card. And I appreciate that most all of their relics are game used or at least player worn. That's a big deal. I mean, if you're putting patches and relics in that the player's never worn, it's never been used in a game, it's like, what are we doing here? I can go to Kmart and snip a jersey up, and it's like, come on, it's just cheap, it's cheesy. But if it's game worn, I think that's pretty neat. So I do appreciate that. But with some of their inserts, I think Topps is a little bit cheesy sometimes. Like, I will say this, I'm glad that the baseball helix cards don't say helix in big, huge letters, like the basketball version of helix. It says helix in like giant letters. It takes up like a third of the background on the card. And it's like, guys, you don't have to write helix on the card for us to know what it is. We know what it is, right? Or make it small or tasteful. And so I'm glad they removed it, at least so it doesn't say helix. It was just super cheesy. So I like that a little bit better about these, but I don't know. There's something about it that leaves a little bit to be desired. I can't put my finger on it, but kind of mediocre, but whatever. The Radiating Rookies, I think these are cool. Be nice to pull a Miz. I'm a big fan of what he's doing. Fun guy to watch. I mean, since Randy Johnson, Nolan Ryan, there hasn't been somebody like that in my mind. So yeah, I'm just hoping he stays healthy, has a long career, but yeah, I'm rooting for him. But yeah, Radiating Rookies, those are cool. Here we go, the Minions. So 4-card checklist, 4 different guys. I mean, look at the price. These are selling for, the Judge has 35 bids, 3 days left, 2,200. I mean, it'll probably go to 335. So I guess some people like them. They're into them. I don't know if it's just because of the rarity. I am not a fan. Like, I don't know. I'd take one, I guess, but I'd probably sell it right away. I'm not familiar with the Minions show. It's a kid's thing. To me, I don't see how it translates to baseball. I don't know. And I like cards that are weird, or a little bit esoteric. That doesn't bother me. Like I mentioned before, I love the downtowns. I like the kabooms. I mean, you can see some in the case right behind me. I think they're great. Once you get into something like this, where it doesn't even look like the player and it's a yellow, oval shaped or cylindrical shaped guy and you're just going to slap the player's name on, I don't know. I'm not into it. So, anyway, that's me. But next, this is a chase. I think this is cool. You've got the Jerry Seinfeld inserts. So it's a red 5 of 5. They had these in the Series 1 baseball. It's an orange. So the paper product. And when I heard about that chase this year, I was kind of excited. I thought, yeah, that'd be pretty cool to hit one of those. I didn't, of course. I don't think I even saw a base card. But I was just looking around the other day on eBay. I saw an orange pop up. I actually bought one just like this. This isn't the one. But I bought one. It came today. It's somewhere around here. But cool card. I don't know. I like Seinfeld. I think it works. So to me, this is different. This is a weird card. It's a little bit esoteric. It's not your typical card, but it works, right? Because, I mean, Seinfeld, besides it being one of the biggest shows of all time, they always had a baseball theme going through the show. George worked for the Yankees. Jerry was a Mets fan. So they've got him on here. That's the cool part, as a Met. And he's dressed up in all the Mets gear. In the dugout, he's on the phone, in the bullpen doing a call. It's great. So I like that. Maybe not for everybody, but I think it's a pretty cool card. So then we're going into, here's an example of the perspectives. I think these are neat too. I think they did a good job. Great photographs. I like how they got the name in the background. The non-auto versions I think are somewhat common. Like if you open a few boxes of this, you'll probably see one or two of them. The autograph versions, that's a little bit different. So I think those are a little more rare for sure. And then the static noise. So this is the retail only case hit. So I think these are awesome. I wish they were in hobby. I just think that's a great insert. I like that. It's perfect. It's modern. It's got nice features and details. It does a lot, but it's not doing too much, right? It's not cheesy. It's cool. I like that. I like the overall look of it. I like the variation to the image on the left and right of the player. It's kind of like the Nocturnal a little bit that they do in Chrome Black. I think those cards are cool. I like the Nocturnals. I like this even a little bit better. They are all horizontal, so they don't do any in the portrait style. So, but horizontal cards are great too. It's just, the vertical makes it a little bit easier to display in a case and, different things like that. Overall collectors tend to prefer portrait or vertical cards. They usually go for a slightly higher premium. If you've got the same card, the portrait version will go for a little bit more. So those are some cool cards you can chase and hit. We've gone over the set just to give you guys a good idea of what we might find in the box. We'll just look at the checklist really quick, and then we're going to hop into ripping into this product. So I've got the checklist pulled up. If we scroll to the bottom, you'll see some of the hardest hits, and they break it apart. So it depends if you're doing a hobby box, a jumbo, value box, a mega. So yeah, those gold logo mans, in a jumbo, you're looking at 1 in 200,000 packs, 1 in 569,000 if it's a regular hobby box. Odds are slim. So just kind of interesting to look at some of these, ink strokes up here on the top, 1 in 500, 1 in 153 for jumbo. Obviously the jumbo packs are bigger packs, right? So you get, I think it's, 11 cards per pack. 12 packs in a box. For standard hobby is 4 cards per pack, 20 packs in a box, which I find interesting because if you look at some of the other cards, the odds are a little bit out of whack, in my opinion. So let's go up. You've got a lot of different rookie autographs and their parallels there. Wild Style, Wrecking Crew, shows the different parallels, Shadow Etch. So regular Shadow Etch is 1 in 192 jumbo packs. So it's probably around a case hit is my guess, something like that. Something, would that be 10 boxes? I don't know. I'm not going to do the math right now, but yeah, around a case hit. You go up into past to present. Okay, they don't do those in the hobby either. So that's retail only for past to present. So no hobby boxes. So interesting. Your future stars are now 1 in 10. 1 in 10 in a jumbo box. That means in this one jumbo box, we'll probably get one future star. So definitely a little more rare than the past. What about our ultraviolet? Where did that go? Let's see. Big ticket players. So 1 in 4 jumbo packs. Wanted to see the ultraviolet. Let's take a little look and see how hard those are to hit. Superfractor, 1 in 133,000 jumbo packs for standard hobby, 1 in 474,000. Where did the ultraviolet go? I saw it just a little bit ago. There we go, ultraviolet. So 1 in 2,243 jumbo packs. So that it's tough to hit. But here's where I find that odd. In a regular hobby box, you're at 1 in 1,516 packs. So if you want an ultraviolet, you're better off buying a regular hobby box. So the jumbo, you're going to get more autos. It seems that's the advantage. But for some of the other ones, like an ultraviolet, you're better off buying a regular hobby box. You know, buy a couple of those, and you know, one box is 20 packs. You know, versus one jumbo box is 11 packs, or sorry, 12 packs. It's less. So you'd need to buy twice as many. Well, not quite, almost twice as many, but not quite. Jumbo boxes to hit an ultraviolet, and they're more expensive than regular hobby boxes. So anyway, I find that interesting. But all right, guys, let's hop into it. Here we go. Enough talk. I've gabbed your ears off. We've gone over the set. We've done all the prep work. So let's just launch into this jumbo box and see what we can find. So like I said, this is my first rip of this set. So I'm excited. I will say with Topps Chrome, I found it hard to hit. I mean, I know the ceiling's super high, which is great. My expectation is, you know, get some cool cards, but in terms of getting the value back, I'm not expecting that to happen. It'd be nice. It'd be nice to pull something big or something, you know, even like a case hit. It's just hard, you know. That's the thing with Topps Chrome, and you know, Panini Prism is the same thing. It's like their most popular product. You've got bigger checklists, super high ceilings, but low floors. So anyway, that's what I'm guessing. I am curious to see how good the product looks. I was a little bit taken aback when I found, you know, when we found out what the paper product looked like. I didn't know if that was going to translate into Chrome, but it looks good. It does. No complaints. So there we go. Adley Rutschman. We got Zach Neto, Devin Williams, Hunter Goodman, Luis Castillo. We got Miguel Vargas, Shane Baz, O'Neal Cruz. We got our first 91. Tatsuya Imai. I mean, those look really good. When you look at that, it's just, it looks nice. So I think those are, you know, for a common insert, I think they're cool. I like that. And we've got a Juan Carlos Stanton on the Wrecking Crew. So I'm expecting to see a number of those. The Wrecking Crew. And then we've got our first refractor, I believe. So there we go, Brandon Nimmo. All right, pack one down. So yeah, I mean, product's looking good. Let's see what pack two looks like. So we got Michael Bush, Corbin Carroll, Mike Trout, Denzel Clark, the Judge. It's cool. I mean, the cards do look great. I will say, looking at these, the fit and finish, they look good. They look better than last year. You know, I actually liked the design of last year's better in terms of the aesthetic. You know, just the graphic design layout. They didn't know how that part on the left was going to translate with like the sort of fake inseam type of look, and you know, the wood grain or whatever it is on this side, and then that part down there. But I don't know, somehow it works. It does look a lot better in person than I figured it would. But the finish, the shine on the cards is great. I mean, the centering on a lot of these has looked pretty good. Even the cuts, you know, in the past on some of last year's Chrome, you notice the tops and bottoms get a little jagged, where it's like it was a dull blade that cut the card. I mean, these look crisp. They look really nice. Sal Stewart, Chris Bryant, Francisco Lindor, and we've got our first perspectives. Derek Jeter. That's cool. Look at that. That's a cool card. I mean, like I said, these aren't super rare, so it's not a high. Oh, and we've got our auto right off the bat. Okay, well, I think we have two of them in the box. So let's finish checking this out. Derek Jeter perspectives. I'm guessing, I didn't look at the odds. I'm guessing we're gonna find maybe one or two of these in this box. You know, they're not like super expensive on the secondary market, but they're cool. They're a cool looking card. And we got Carson Seymour, pitcher for the Giants for our auto. Looks like just a base auto. So, all right. Not familiar with him, but I mean, there's a million pitchers, and I'm a Twins fan, so I'm watching American League most of the time. And then we've got Corbin Carroll on the big ticket player. This looks like a refractor version. I'm not sure if they're all refractors or what. So that'll be interesting to see. So, I mean, those look good. Those are definitely nicer than the paper version of this card. So I like that. It looks good. All right, let's go into the next pack and see what we can find in pack 3. So we've hit our auto, otherwise nothing too big yet. Pete Alonso, Isaac Paredes, and like I said, it's Topps Chrome, so it's pretty hard to hit. Whenever I open Topps Chrome, I gotta say I've never hit anything big in Topps Chrome baseball, so I don't expect that to change now. Real Muto, Paul Goldschmidt, and then we got a Lawrence Butler. I'd like to pull some Ohtani base at least, or a refractor. I don't think that's too much to ask for. That reminds me real quick, I'm going to show you guys something real quick. So if you guys get into breaks, so these are some forms I made where it shows the team checklist entrances and then how many times a player shows up in a checklist. So if you're ever doing breaks, I like to do breaks every once in a while. You want to know which teams here. Give me 1 second here, because I got to pull up. Here we go. So this is the team entries. So let me go like this. I got a screen share again. So here we go. My apologies. This is the team checklist. So if you guys do breaks, you want to know which teams you want to try and get. You know, sometimes you're doing random team, you know, and there might be a few teams left on the board, or you get a, you know, spin 3, pick 2. Other times you're doing a pick your team break. Well, you want to get teams that show up on the checklist the most number of times. So I made some documents, but this right here shows the Dodgers show up on the checklist more than any other team. So just getting the Dodgers, which everybody already wants because they have Ohtani, and that's a huge chase in baseball cards. But the Dodgers alone, you've got 136 spots on the checklist, right? So just that alone gives you, I think I crunched the odds, and it's like 8%. 8% of the cards then are Dodgers, give or take. And then the lowest is my team, the Twins, 26. So, if you get the Twins, you got 26 spots on the checklist versus 138. So besides not having many high value players, there's not many different cards for the Twins in the set to begin with. So it's a huge disadvantage. So you want to know this when you're going into a break and you're trying to figure out what teams you want, right? And obviously everyone's going for the Dodgers, but for other ones, it's not as obvious, right? You might be thinking, do I want the Braves or the A's or the Brewers? Well, guess what? You may have a personal preference of which team you like, but if you don't, you'd much rather have the Braves or the A's because they show up in the checklist almost twice as many times as the Brewers. So you're almost twice as likely to hit. So it's important. Within that, I have a player entry rankings sheet, so it shows which player shows up the most in the checklist, and then it goes from most all the way down to least. Number one player with the most cards in 2026 Topps Chrome Baseball, Ohtani. He's got 29 entries. Out of those, 5 are autograph cards. Below him, Judge, then Caglione, Skeens, Anthony. You work your way down the list in order. And in the other column, it shows how many autos the player has. So Nick Kurtz actually has 6 different auto cards. So does Caglione. So it's more than Ohtani and Judge. And then it shows you which players don't sign, which you want to know. Because if you're a big Seattle fan, you're chasing Seattle in breaks, but you also love Cal Raleigh. Well, guess what? He doesn't sign. So no autographs in Topps Chrome 2026 baseball. So, and there are a number of guys that don't sign. Pete Crow, Vlad, Guerrero, who else here? Julio Rodriguez. So, Carson Bench. So anyway, this is worth looking at. I'll try to make it so you guys can download these in links below. I'll see what I can do. Otherwise, if there's demand, if you guys want these, leave a comment because they're definitely super handy if you're doing breaks. So anyway, just wanted to share that. I thought that was important. I'm going to get back into unwrapping some cards here. So here we go. All right, pack 4. All right, we've got Christian Campbell, Jacob deGrom, Andy Pajes, Carson Weisenhund, Contreras, Kyle Teal, Paul Skeens, Brooks Lee. He's a good Twins player. He's a good young guy. We've got some of his rookie cards. I like him. Oh, we got something here. Seth Lugo. We got a Diamond Moments. Tony Gwynn. That's cool. I was a Tony Gwynn fan when I was younger. I had a Tony Gwynn baseball glove. It's a great looking card. I don't know how rare those are, but guess what? That's why we're going to pull the checklist up really quick. So let's see here. Let's go into this. I'm going to look up Diamond Moments. Okay, so 1 in 48 packs. So not super rare, but not super common. So it looks like you get one in about 1 in every 4 jumbo boxes. So, all right. Interesting. Okay, back into the cards. I'm going to sleeve that one up. Looks great. I think it's a cool looking card. So I like that. I like that it's not super common. So that's nice. And then we got a Nolan Arenado, the Ray Wave Refractor. And here we go. Getting to almost halfway through, but not quite. Kerry Carpenter, Bo Bichette, Bryce Eldridge, good rookie there. Drew Rasmussen. Taylor Ward. Luke Weaver. Jackson Holiday. We got a Julio Rodriguez. Chrome 91 Refractor. That's cool. Oh, we got a nice card here. J.J. Weatherholt on the Future Stars. I like that. Oh, what do we get here? We got a printing plate and something special behind that. Interesting. Oh, yo, wow. Look at that. That was a nice run. Look at that. We got Eldridge. We got Julio on the Refractor. 91. Really cool picture. We got a Weatherholt on the Future Stars. And then we got a, I can't tell, Rafael Flores. This is the actual magenta printing plate used to manufacture Rafael Flores Pittsburgh Pirates 2026. Plate is one of a kind of collectible. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, there's 101. I mean, here's the thing. I've gotten some printing plates before. I'm not a huge fan of them. I mean, I don't know. Am I being a jerk right now? I don't know. Maybe. Should I be grateful? Maybe. I mean, I don't know. Don't know the player. It's probably our second autograph of the case. The problem I have with the printing plate, to me, it's like, if this is something you use, it's just a cheap way to get out of make. It's like, don't be a tight one. Put a freaking real card in there. I can't even see that the guy's name is backwards. You can't see his image. I don't know. I'd rather just have a regular auto card. So if it was an Ohtani or something like that, fine, I'm not going to complain. I'll take it. I mean, they're cool, but, you know, I've had printing plates in the past, so we'll sleeve it up. I do like that Yamamoto, though, so let's take a look at that. That's our first color. It's our first parallel of the box. Purple to 75. Card looks great. Well-centered, super crisp, super clean, great picture. I like that. So that's a cool card. So I will take that and be happy. I mean, we've pulled a couple cool cards, I got to say. We got the Weatherholt, Future Stars. So good guy to pull on a Future Stars. It's an actual rookie as well. They're not all rookies. Looks good. You know, you get maybe one of these a box. And we pulled one of the right guys. I've been getting lucky. I've pulled a little Weatherholt and Finest and some other products. So, you know, if I keep seeing him, I'm not gonna complain. And then we got Eldridge. I'll sleeve Eldridge up. And we'll get back into it. So that was a fun pack. That was a fun pack. Definitely the best pack we opened by far. So, all right, Dalton Varsho on the Blue Jays. Remember him last year in the World Series. He had a good playoff run. Chandler Simpson, Jeremy Pena, Samuel Basallo, Jackson Churio, Maximo Acosta, Justin Verlander. I think he's on his last year. He's probably going to retire here soon. He's had a good career, great pitcher. We've got Otto Lopez, Yuri Perez. Okay, we got another wrecking crew, Byron Buxton, Minnesota Twin. You know, I like Buxton, but he's injured way too much. He's always injured. You know, and that's a problem. It doesn't matter how good of a player you are. If you're injured and you're not playing, well, you know, what good are you? It's one thing to get injured once in a while here and there, once every, you know, few years, but when you're injured half the season, every season, I don't know. Makes you wonder. I like the Wrecking Crew cards. I don't know, some people, I think, don't care for them, or I don't know. I think they're nice. They kind of remind me of like 90s, inserts from the 90s. You know, they're not super rare or anything, but I like them. Wouldn't mind seeing an Ohtani Wrecking Crew. Any Ohtani. All right, Edwin Diaz, James Wood, CJ Kafis, Vinny Pasquantino, Cam Schlittler, rookie card. He's one of the top pitchers this year. Carson Benj, rookie. Caleb Durbin, another Yamamoto. Look at that. And another Future Stars. Huh. And then Bobby Witt on the big ticket. Those are cool. I like those more in the chrome variety where they refract. Then a Yamamoto and a Carson Bench. Cool. I mean, those are a few decent cards. Again, nothing super high value. That's the problem is it's tough to make your money back, especially in baseball unless you hit Ohtani. Baseball, the good thing is the sets are a little less expensive as compared to football or basketball, but the players also don't get as much per card as football or basketball. Basketball seems to be the highest, I think. With football right behind. But, baseball, it's kind of like you have Ohtani way at the top, and then you've got Judge quite a ways below him, and then everyone else below that. It's kind of interesting. That's where we're at. Okay, we've got 5 packs left. Pulled a few fun cards, a couple future stars, which are a little more rare now. So we got 2 of those. Brenton Doyle. We got Bobby Witt Jr. Agustin Ramirez. Bryce Turang. Mike Yastrzemski. Spencer Torkelson. Trey Savage. Kikuchi. Parker Misick. Pulled an Ottawa his the other day in something. Tier 1. Tier 1 is what it was. Rookie card. Kyle Tucker. And, another Dodger. We got a Dodger. I will take that. 1 out of 5. I like that. That's cool. I would have loved an Ohtani. Mookie Betts. Cool card. 1 out of 5. I mean, how can I complain? Super rare. That's a cool card. I mean, look at the picture. That's one of the coolest pictures, I think, in the entire set. So I'll say, you know what? I got a Yamamoto, a Mookie. I'd love to get at least an Ohtani base. Please. That'd be great. But really cool card. Red, Ray Wave. So I can be grateful for that. I like that. Mookie's a good player. Got to see the Dodgers. They came and played the Twins. Was it a couple weeks ago? Like a month ago. But the Target Field. Dodgers won. I figured that would happen. I was rooting for the Twins, but also rooting for the Dodgers at the same time. Just because I wanted to, I'm rooting for Ohtani, and they're going to, the Twins aren't going to win the World Series. I think Ohtani and the Dodgers probably will, and they've got a great team. Freddie Freeman, Mookie Betts, Yamamoto, Teoscar Hernandez, Will Smith. It's Robleski, the pitcher. It goes on and on. So Mookie Betts to me is one of the key players on the Dodgers. It goes Ohtani, Yamamoto's up there for sure, Freeman, and Mookie. So Robleski's up there too. So really cool card. I like that. I'm gonna top load that. Very fun. That was cool. So 2 solid Dodger. Top load the Yamamoto as well. This penny sleeve is a little bit crinkled, so let's put him in a better condition. So that's neat. Very nice. All right, we'll keep moving. We've got 4 packs left. I know I've been a little slow, guys. I've been chatting and talking away, but kind of wanted to do a more thorough and in-depth video on this set just because I know it's popular. A lot of people are going to be ripping it. I'll probably rip some more of it. It's just this is my first one, and it released I think a week ago, something like that. This just came out, so it's fun to take your time and enjoy it a little bit. 'Cause once the packs are open, they're open. Can't put the cards back in the pack. So, all right, Cade Horton, got Xavier Edwards, Zach Wheeler, Wilson Contreras, Brandon Sproat, Jacob Marseille, another good rookie on the Marlins. Kind of a guy that's surprising people, I think. I wouldn't mind to hit a Mizorowski too, even if it's a base. I would like that. Mizorowski or Ohtani would be my two top guys. Even if it's a base, I'll take it. Mason Barnett, Kevin McGonigal, top rookie right there. I think he's in the Rookie of the Year talks. I haven't seen many just standard refractors is the weird thing. I think if they all been Ray Wave. Alejandro Kirk. Josh Bell on the Twins. He's hitting some home runs this year. Oh, wait, look at that. We got our first wild style. Julio Rodriguez. It's cool. I haven't seen any of those before. That's the first one. I believe that is the wild style. Yeah, wild style. I'm curious. I want to see how. Let's just take a quick look. Let's see how rare are the wild style. 1 in 24 packs. So probably 1 in every 2 jumbo boxes is where you're going to find a wild style. So not super rare. That's a cool card though. You know, I like that they've got some inserts that are a little more rare, you know, like 1 in every couple boxes. That's nice because if you get one, it feels nice, looks cool, it's got a cool design, and it makes the card worth something. It makes it a little easier to hit or feel like you got something out of the box. Like in this box, I hit a Diamond Moments, which I think is about 1 in every 4 jumbo boxes, is what the odds said, and then this is 1 in every 2. And then we hit 2 Future Stars, which are supposed to be, you know, about 1 a box. So, you know, from that standpoint, not bad. And then we hit a red 1 of 5, and then a purple to 75 of 2 solid players. So, you know, color, a lot of times you hit color, but it's, you know, a player that you have no idea who they are. I mean, let's face it, that sucks. So, yeah, we got 3 packs left. We're doing all right. Both of our autos have hit, so I'm not expecting to find another auto. I'm expecting to find another Mookie, though. There he is on the base. We got Acuna, Austin Hayes, Jack Flaherty, TJ Rumfield, Harry Ford, Brunable, Owen Casey, Hernandez, Marcelo Mayer, and then a color. Ooh, look at that. Ha! All right. You know what? This is a good box. Thank you. I'm happy. I'm not a huge Paul Skeens fan. I like him. I mean, I'm not against him at all. But, you know, out of the pitchers you can hit, I'll take a Paul Skeens card any day. You know, I'm not like a Pirates fan or anti-fan either. I'm a Twins fan, and I like Ohtani, and you know I don't mind the Dodgers. So, and I like other good players. Skeens is another good player. I'll be curious to see, you know, how his career goes. I think he's having a little rougher time this year, but he's still a big name. That's cool. Out of 150. So, you know, on all 3 of our colored cards, we've hit notable players. So, you know what? I'm grateful for that. This box. You know, what did we pay for this box? I think about $6.50 for the box. Money wise, you know, I don't know where we're sitting money wise. It'd be hard because you'd have to total up. There's probably a lot of stuff in here that's $2, $5, you know, $1, of course. But, you know, overall, not bad so far. I'm not gonna complain. I've definitely seen worse boxes, believe me. I mean, most are worse than this. So, you know, I think with that Mookie, we'll take a look at the end. We'll just take a quick peek and kind of see. We got 2 packs left. All right, we got Ivan Herrera, Junior Caminero, Blake Snell, Dylan Cruz, Moise Ballesteros, Garcia, Chris Bassett. Oh, we got the Miz. All right. I'm complete. If I get an Ohtani, I'm truly complete with this box. I will say this is a little off center. Most of the cards have looked great. I mean, if we go just 1 card behind it, look, I mean, no issues. This one on the right side is pretty thin, so that's unfortunate. It's just a base. It's not a refractor, though, so wish it was centered. I'll take the Mizorowski. So that's cool. At least we hit him. Yeah, we got a few cards left here. We got Nolan Shanuel, Chase Burns. He's a good pitcher too. And we got Juan Soto on the big ticket players. I think we pulled, what, 3 of those? 3 big ticket players from the jumbo box. All right, we're going to our last pack, and then be ready to wrap it up. All right, let's see. What will the last pack hold? All right, we got a Schwarber, Carter Jensen, Royce Lewis on the Twins, one of our better players. Okay, I don't know how to pronounce the name. Otto Kemp, Chase Dollander, Drew Gilbert, Chaz Chisholm on the Yankees. We got an Owen Casey. I think that's the second card as we pulled. The other one wasn't a 91, but Corey Seager and Christian Walker looks like probably an image variation on the Ray Wave. That's it. So that's the box. All right, that was fun. I enjoyed that. We had some fun hits. Let's just look up a couple. I'm gonna do this. We'll go on to the screen share. And let me just type in. Let's do 2026 tops. Mookie Betts to 5. Here we go. Tops Chrome. True 5. That's going for about $425. Yeah, seems probably about right. So let's say the Mookie $400. That's got to be the paper. I mean, if we grade it, it'll go a little higher. That's for sure. And that might be a card to send in for grading. The Skeens. Let's see. It's, 2026 Paul Skeens. Let's go Topps Chrome. Silver pack. Image variation. Yeah, so yeah, that's a 75, $35. Yeah, maybe $20, something like that. So not a lot on the Skeens. I don't think we hit too big on our autos. So let's switch back here to the card cam. So yeah, Carson Seymour, it's a base auto. I don't know. I'm not sure how good he is as a pitcher. It's his rookie, so maybe he'll turn into somebody. But I don't know. That might be like a $10, $20 card with some big tickets. The Yamamoto. Let's check out the Yamamoto, the 75, actually, really quick. So let's go back. Let's go 2026 Topps Chrome Yamamoto. Hold on, is mine an image variation maybe? Let's see, where do we go? Where the heck did I put it? Oh, it's over here. Duh. Oh, that's right. Mine's the 91. So yeah, $45. Yeah, so I don't know, 400. I would say on this box opening, if it was a $650 box, maybe we got $500. You know, if I pieced out little cards, sold them for $1, $5, different cards from the rip. Yeah, probably like $500, give or take. Maybe you could squeeze a little bit more out of it if you grade them, whatever. So, close to break even. I'll say for Topps Chrome, not bad. I'm not going to complain about that. It was fun. It was fun to open. I mean, we hit some cool inserts. Yeah. So, all right. Now I'm going to give it my overall review. I'm going to say it's always tough to do that on one box, right? I'd like to open a few more to really, know it. But I feel like with the jumbo, you get to know the set pretty well. We kind of saw what the distribution or the dispersion was like. Um, I like it. I mean, let's see. I'll give it I'm gonna give it like a 3.5 out of 5 is what I'll give it. I thought overall the fit and finish on the cards look good. Quality control looked pretty darn good on this. 'Cause I've seen, hit and miss with tops in the past. Same thing with Panini. A lot of these were centered great. No creases coming out of the cards. I didn't see print lines. I mean, they looked really, really good. I got to give them that. The cards looked great. I think the Mizorowski was the one card I noticed that was like obviously off center. But all the other cards, like the hits, I mean, they looked good. I mean, look at that. Yamamoto looks clean and crisp. I mean, the Future Stars, the redesign looks good. The big ticket refractors, I mean, those look good. I like those much better. Those are cool. I mean, they're common, but they're nice. Hitting a purple and a red, and both of them looking clean and sharp. I mean, both of those. The Yamamoto's a little heavy on the top border. Bottom's a touch thin, so I don't know if they'd get a 10 because of that, which is unfortunate. But the Mookie, I think that would probably get a PSA 10. I mean, that is clean. So it's probably a card I will grade. And it's cool first on print. So, yeah, fit and finish, great. I don't know, lots of different cards. Like I said, the ceiling's super high. Floor is low. I think the floor for baseball, I think you get a little bit of a higher floor than you do other sports, though, which is the nice thing. Well, I don't know how you put it. It's like, I think sometimes it's easier to make your money back in baseball because there's so many different players, rookies, and prospects that are worth a little bit, where, basketball and football. I mean, in the Topps Chrome football set, what was the base checklist? Like 400 or 500 guys. It was huge, right? And some of the guys you're pulling cards and it's like they're a backup, offensive lineman. It's like, nobody wants offensive lineman cards anyway. Sorry, guys. They want skill positions, right? Even great defensive players, their cards just aren't worth much. And it's fun to have some of those cards. Guys like an Aaron Donald or, whatever, TJ Watt, stuff like this, Bosa. There's a lot of great defenders, but because they're not ball handlers, their cards only go so high. But with baseball, it's like you kind of get a little higher floor on more people, but the ceiling, like for Ohtani, is huge, but other guys, it's just a huge variance. So I don't know, but that's more of a not so much of a tops thing. That's just one sport to another. So I give it a 3.5. I think it was a lot of fun to open. The price wasn't too ridiculously bad. I mean, $650. It's expensive for a box of cards for sure. 2 autographs. I would have preferred that one of them was not a printing plate. I'm not a printing plate guy. I don't care that they tell you it's a 101. That's not a real 101. I don't care what anybody says. I want a real card. Sorry. I don't want your leftover garbage that you used to make real cards. I want the real card. I don't care if the guy signed it. I don't care. I don't. I want a real card. This is backwards. You can't even tell what the image is. So, I don't know. That's my rant on that. All right. I'm going to shut up. But I'll say, yeah, I recommend the product. I like it. I'd like to rip more of this for sure. I'd be curious if I ripped another one, if it would be better or worse. Obviously, you're looking to hit on the autos. If you hit on the autos, you're going to end up a little bit better. If you hit on one of the big rookies, that's a big deal. That's the only thing that could have made this box better, is if one of the autos were a bigger name rookie or a bigger name player. Like if we hit a Mizorowski or a McGonagall or a Weatherholt, you know, any of those would have been pretty nice, or obviously a Judge, or Jordan Alvarez, or, you know, obviously Otani, of course. That would have taken us past break even and into the profit on a box. But look, guys, you don't rip cards trying to make profit. That's not how you profit. So it's for fun. You know, when you're ripping, just expect, you know, it's entertainment, and you might profit once in a while, but that is going to be the exception, not the norm. So anyway, all right, I'm going to wrap this video up. Don't forget, leave a comment. Within 7 days, I'd like to mail this box, this blaster box, to somebody. So there we go. All right, guys. Until next time, keep chasing, keep ripping, and we'll see you on the next one. All right, later.